Recently, the Empress Dowager summoned me to the palaces to discuss the marriage. For days, my mind has been in turmoil. On one hand, there is the betrothal to the crown princes, arranged years ago by my father and the late emperor. On the other hand, I know well that His Highness's heart belongs to Lady Ru Yilu, and rumors of the Eastern Palace's complex intrigues are rampant. Furthermore, I am deeply grateful to the Gui family for raising and caring for me in the past, and I worry about Gu Yanzhou, who is recovering from illness at Gongquan Palace. He was originally an orphan of the Shen family. Since childhood, he was raised by General Gu of Jinan and took the surname Gu. In his youth, he was severely injured while going to war with his father, and has since been confined to the deep palace to recuperate. Anxious and tossing in bed at night, I fell into a heavy nightmare. In the dream, the Eastern Palace was cold and desolate. Though I held the Phoenix Seal, it was a mere formality. The power over the imperial harem had fallen into other hands. The entire palace only knew of Lady Liu, and not the crown princess. My young child stood by my side, asking timidly why imperial father never came to see us. I opened my mouth, but could not utter a single word. The dream also conjured up a scene before the late emperor's throne. His tone was weary, carrying a hint of impatience.
Ru Yi has a proper temperament and can manage the harem well. For Jingyan, you are the primary consort. You should have the tolerance to accept others and be more yielding.
I stood below the steps with my head bowed. The Shi family has always been full of loyal martyrs. From crown princess to empress, I followed etiquette at every step. Yet, all my yielding, in the end, only earned me a single phrase. You should be yielding. In the dream, I did not argue, only feeling a suffocating tightness in my chest. The scene shifted to the New Year's Eve palace banquet. Amidst the brightly lit hall, the crown prince, Lady Liu, and their child were in perfect harmony. I stood under the corridor holding my young child. As the cold wind whipped snow particles against my face, causing a sharp pain, the child asked me in a soft voice,
"Mother, when can we go home?"
I could not answer. The most painful scene in the dream was the parasol tree at Gongquan Palace. Beneath the tree sat half a cup of cold medicine and a plate of the pastries I loved most in my youth. The palace servant reported with a bowed head, saying Lord Gu did not survive this winter. I wanted to rush inside, but my feet felt as heavy as lead, unable to move at all. I could only watch helplessly as that door remained tightly shut, as if separated by a lifetime. The pain in my chest surged up. My vision went black, and I fell heavily into the snow. In my daze, I seemed to hear someone calling me, not as the crown princess, nor as the empress, but from many years ago, a gentle and smiling voice.
"Ah, see, shall brother take you to fly a kite?"
With a sudden shudder, I snapped back to reality, my forehead covered in cold sweat. Outside the hall, the spring sunshine was bright and beautiful. The warm fragrance of Shining Palace lingered around my nose. Beside my hand was a cup of freshly brewed tea. So it was only a dream. I knew very well in my heart that this was no omen. It was simply because I had heard too many rumors about the Eastern Palace lately, and was worrying about Gu Yanzhou's illness, resulting in a delusion born of my own fears. But the cold treatment in the dream, the grievances, betrayal, and belated regret were all the worst-case scenario I had deduced based on the current situation, like a bolt of lightning striking my heart. It woke me up instantly. This path of constant compromise would hardly lead to a good end. I must never take it.
Yun-Si.
The Empress Dowager was looking at me with a warm smile. The Emperor sat by the couch, holding a cup of tea in his hand. My entire body froze. The Empress Dowager was still here. The Emperor was still here. This was not the desolate scene from the depths of my nightmare. This was the palace of compassion and tranquility. This was the year I turned 16, just after my hair-pinning ceremony. On the very day the Empress Dowager was personally deciding on the crown princess. Though the terrifying dream just now was only my imagination, it felt like a bone-chilling warning, shaking me to my very core.
This child. How did she space out right in the middle of our conversation?
The Empress Dowager scolded with a gentle smile, and then spoke again in a leisurely tone.
I am asking you, do you like Jingyan? Are you willing to marry him and become the crown princess?
With a loud bang, it felt as if thunder had exploded in my ears. It was this exact question. In the past, my heart held a vague youthful affection for the crown prince. If I blushed and nodded in agreement today, I would step into the deeply entangled Eastern Palace in the future, wasting my life away in forbearance and neglect, repeating the disastrous path from my dream. My entire body trembled uncontrollably, yet my mind grew clearer than ever. In reality, the crown prince's favoritism toward Lady Liu was already no secret. If I entered the Eastern Palace, I would merely hold the title of the primary consort, while living a life of compromise and grievance. Yun-Si. Sensing that something was wrong, the Emperor set down his teacup. What is the matter with you? I dropped to my knees hitting the golden floor tiles, making a dull thud. Your Majesty, Your Highness. My voice trembled, yet it was exceptionally firm. The marriage agreement back then was merely a verbal promise. In this servant's heart, there is another betrothal. The palace of compassion and tranquility instantly fell silent, so quiet that a falling needle could be heard. The Emperor and the Empress Dowager exchanged a look, their brows furrowing slightly.
Asai, what nonsense are you speaking? This marriage was agreed upon years ago. by your father and us. How can it not count?
This subject is not speaking nonsense. I raised my head and said, word by word, years ago before your majesty ascended the throne, you and my father swore brotherhood with Uncle Gu. That day, amidst the drinking and merriment at the banquet, my father not only verbally agreed to a marriage with the crown prince with your majesty, but also made a marriage agreement for their children with Uncle Gu. It was only because Uncle Gu later died in battle, and Yanzhou was severely injured and recuperated deep within the palace, that this marriage agreement was never mentioned again. Perhaps your majesty has also long forgotten. The Empress Dowager's expression changed slightly.
The Guiyu family?
The general of the south, the Guiyu family, the only son of the Gue family. My throat tightened. That name had been pressed deep in my heart, as if a lifetime had passed. And now, I finally spoke it aloud again. Gu Yanzhou. The teacup in the emperor's hand fell onto the table with a clatter.
Gu Yanzhou?
The Empress Dowager's voice softened a bit.
We remember that child. After being severely injured on the battlefield back then, he has been recuperating in Gangshuan Palace.
My tears finally fell. I prostrated myself and kowtowed. He is the one this subject was meant to marry. This subject knows the crown prince's heart belongs to another. Forcing my way into the Eastern Palace would only make things difficult for both of us. In terms of propriety, and for both families it brings no benefit. This subject begs your majesty, your highness, to grant this wish. The emperor and the Empress Dowager remained silent for a long time, mindful of the Shi family's generations of loyal martyrs, and the Gu family's past military merits, and seeing how resolute my attitude was, with absolutely no room for compromise. They finally relented. The emperor ordered the attendant to bring the draft of the imperial decree, personally revised the names for the betrothal, and stamped it with the imperial seal. Even though it went through the palace's expedited process, it still took nearly half an hour. The bright yellow imperial decree of marriage was handed into my grasp. The night at Gongquan Palace was bone-chillingly cold. Clutching the decree, I walked briskly along the palace path, not even caring as my skirt swept across the stone steps, unaware that my embroidered shoes were stained with mud. The palace servants looked at me in astonishment. Some called out, "Miss C," while others stepped forward to help, but I ignored them all. I knew he was inside. With so many eyes and ears in the palace, word of the marriage discussion at Signing Palace had surely spread long ago. He must have already heard of it, knowing that if the marriage went through, I would have to enter the Eastern Palace. In the past, he always said his health was failing, and that he didn't want to hold me back. The image of him dying in grief in my dream was still fresh before my eyes. This waking nightmare now served as a harsh wake-up call. I absolutely could not let him neglect himself like this again. The doors to Gongquan Palace were left ajar, the candlelight dim. Beneath the parasol tree, that man, clad in a thick cloak, was rubbing a porcelain medicine bottle with his fingertips. That was the nourishing tonic specially prepared by the physician. I knew. He had refused to take it on time for several days now.
AC.
Hearing the footsteps, he turned around. Our eyes met. His eyes were still as gentle as ever, his face still as pale, with a faint, weak, yet indulgent smile at the corner of his mouth. Exactly as I remembered.
The preparations for the crown princess are demanding.
He coughed, his tone as calm as usual.
Why have you come?
I didn't let him finish. I rushed forward quickly. I snatched the medicine bottle from his hand and clutched it tightly. You are not allowed to give up. I practically screamed, my voice trembling. His voice was trembling. Tears splashed onto the bluestone floor. Gu Yanzhou, if you dare neglect your health like this, I will never forgive you for the rest of my life. I will stand under this parasol tree every single day, so that wherever you go, you will remember that you owe me a promise you failed to keep. Gu Yanzhou was stunned. He had never seen me lose my composure like this.
See.
He scrambled to stand up, utterly flustered, then bent down to shield me.
What is wrong? What happened? The ground is cold. Please stand up quickly.
I grabbed his sleeve and stuffed the bright yellow imperial decree from my arms into his hand. See for yourself. He unfurled the imperial decree. Under the candlelight, the ink was not yet dry, and the imperial seal was a deep, vivid red. A marriage decree. Gu Yanzhou and Shi Yunxi. He froze on the spot, staring at that line of words for a long time, his fingers trembling slightly. And then, he suddenly began to cough violently. Gu Yanzhou. I panicked and quickly supported him. It took him a long while to stop coughing and calm down. He looked up at me, his eyes welling with joy, yet also concealing pain and self-reproach.
Being the crown princess.
His voice was raspy.
Was it very hard on you?
I was stunned. Everyone else said that marrying the crown prince was a blessing of a lifetime. No one had ever asked me if I was doing well. Only him. Only Gu Yanzhou would ask. It is not good. I threw myself into his arms and said in a muffled voice, it is not good at all. Gu Yanzhou, when you're not here, my heart is never at peace. His body stiffened for a moment, and then he reached out and gently wrapped his arms around me.
Don't cry.
His voice was incredibly soft.
Don't cry, AC. Your brother is here. Your husband is here.
An hour later, Xiao Jingyan rushed to the Palace of Benevolent Peace.
Father, Imperial Mother.
He entered with a smile still on his face.
Where is AC? The marriage is settled, right?
The emperor's face was grim. The Empress Dowager turned her face away, unwilling to look at him.
Where did Asai go?
Xiao Jingyan's smile gradually faltered.
Who is she betrothed to?
It is settled.
The Empress Dowager spoke, her tone flat.
The only son of the Gue family, Gu Yanzhou.
Xiao Jingyan's smile completely froze on his face.
What?
Si requested it herself. His Majesty and I have both granted it.
The Empress Dowager looked at him.
The wedding date is set for next month.
Gu Yanzhou?
Xiao Jingyan raised his voice.
He is gravely injured and bedridden all year round. How can she?
Insolence?
The emperor slammed his hand on the table and scolded him angrily.
You bastard. Who taught you to speak such nonsense? The Gu family has been loyal for generations. That child Yanzhou was injured for the sake of our country.
Father.
Xiao Jingyan grew anxious.
Sai is meant to be the crown princess. How can she marry a sickly invalid?
Asi herself does not wish to marry you.
The emperor's voice grew cold. Xiao Jingyan was stunned.
What one?
She knelt before us and your mother, begging us to dissolve her engagement to you.
The emperor spoke in a weary tone.
Xiao Jingyan, how on earth did you treat her? That she would rather choose the ailing Gu Yanzhou than marry into the Eastern Palace.
Xiao Jingyan's face turned pale, inch by inch. Behind him, Liu Ruyi had followed him in at some point. At this moment, she also stood there dazed, forgetting to react.
How can this be?
Xiao Jingyan shook his head.
How can this be? She clearly loved me.
What did she love about you?
The Empress Dowager sneered.
Did she love how you treasured the pastries Ruyi made like precious gems, while casually throwing away the tassel she braided with her own hand? Or did she love how you protected another woman in everything, while treating your betrothed with cold neglect?
Xiao Jingyan was left speechless. He had indeed done all of these things, but he had never thought they mattered before.
I want to see her.
He turned to leave.
I want to ask her myself.
Xiao Jingyan.
The Empress Dowager's voice came from behind him.
She is currently at Gangshuan Palace. If you dare go there to make a scene, we shall consider that we never gave birth to you as our son.
That night, we sat under the parasol tree for a very long time. I said a great many things, crying and then laughing, laughing and then crying again. Eventually, weariness overcame me, and I fell asleep leaning against Gu Yanzhou's chest. When I woke up, he was looking down at me. His eyes were filled with tenderness.
Are you awake?
He smiled and handed me a cup of warm water.
You've been crying for so long. Are you thirsty?
I took the water, took a sip, and looked up at his face. It was still so pale, carrying the weakness of a long illness. Gu Yanzhou,
Mahem.
you are not allowed to refuse your medicine ever again. He fell silent for a moment, then softly replied,
Fine.
You are not allowed to think of giving up on yourself again.
Fine.
And you are not. I paused, lowering my voice. You are not allowed to push me away to someone else again. To this sentence, he did not answer immediately. Gu Yanzhou. I looked up at him. His Adam's apple bobbed. Her voice was very soft.
AC. Do you know what state I am in now? My legs. I might never be able to stand properly for the rest of my life. If you marry me, you will be laughed at by the entire capital. Do you understand?
I looked into his eyes and said, word by word, then do you understand? I have envisioned my days in the Eastern Palace countless times. The Crown Prince's heart belongs to someone else, and the Eastern Palace is full of constant disputes. Even if I became the Crown Princess, I might not have been able to live a peaceful life. Over these years, the Eastern Palace has grown so powerful that many old subordinates of the Xia and Gu families have had faults found with them, resulting in their demotion and exclusion. If I had married there, I fear I wouldn't even be able to seek justice for those loyal old subordinates. Gu Yanzhou, you ask me if being the Crown Princess is good. Let me tell you, it is not good at all. I am not afraid of being laughed at. I reached out and caressed his cheek. I am only afraid of you pushing me away again. Gu Yanzhou looked at me, his eyes gradually turning red. He reached out his hand and gently stroked my hair.
Fine.
He said,
I won't push you away anymore. For the rest of my life, I will never push you away again.
That night, I stayed at Gongquan Palace until very late. When I was leaving, he sat under the parasol tree to see me off.
AC. Do you still remember that kite?
I turned around. The moonlight fell upon him, his smile faint and gentle. I remember. How could I not? That year, we had just been brought into the palace. He was 14, and I was 11. He had followed his father to the southern border for training. It coincided with the war, and he accidentally entered a miasma forest, which left him with a chronic illness. He lay on his bed all day, occasionally coughing severely. One day, he suddenly said he wanted to see a kite. So I pushed his wheelchair and took him to the imperial garden. The wind was very strong that day, and there were many people flying kites. Crown Prince Xiao Jingyan was also there. Beside him was a delicate-looking young girl, who was Liu Ruyi. The kite string broke, and the paper kite drifted down, landing at our feet. Xiao Jingyan waved from a distance.
Which palace are you from? Pick up the kite for me.
He did not want Liu Ruyi to do the bending work. Just as I was about to bend down, Gu Yanzhou held my hand down. With great effort, he bent down himself. He picked up the kite and handed it to me, and said softly,
See.
Yes,
Go play with Crown Prince Brother.
but brother.
Brother doesn't like flying kites.
He smiled weakly.
Brother likes watching people fly kites. Fly it for Brother to see. All right.
I answered loudly, okay, and happily ran over. Lu Ruyi stuffed the spool into my hands, saying she was tired. The kite flew very high. My hair ribbon became tangled with Xiao Jingyan's. He smiled and asked me,
What is your name?
The wind was strong. I was laughing so happily that I didn't hear Gu Yanzhou's suppressed coughing behind me. Only later did I find out that the Imperial Garden was a place the Crown Prince frequented. It was information he had gathered from the little eunuchs, using his meager allowance. He always said his health was failing, and that he was unworthy of being the descendant of loyal martyrs. He wanted me to meet Xiao Jingyan, wanting me to have what others would see as a good future. Gu Yanzhou, I suddenly spoke up. If I had looked back that day, would you have regretted it? Regretted pushing me to someone else? He fell silent for a moment, his voice as soft as a spring breeze.
I regret it. I regret it deeply. So from now on, I won't push you away anymore.
In the end, Xiao Jingyan did not listen to the Empress Dowager's advice. Before dawn the next day, he was already waiting at the palace alley outside Gongquan Hall. He only dared to wait from afar, not daring to barge in. When I walked out of the palace gates, he blocked my path directly.
I see.
He had lost a lot of weight, with dark circles under his eyes, his robes wrinkled, making it obvious he hadn't slept all night.
How could you change just like that?
He stared into my eyes.
You clearly loved me before. How can you show no affection at all now?
I said nothing.
You resent we.
His voice was hoarse.
I know you resent me. I neglected you before, protecting Lu Ruyi while leaving you out in the cold.
I do not resent you. I interrupted him. Xiao Jingyan froze. I just do not want to see you. I said, Xiao Jingyan, only later. I want nothing to do with you.
But
Do you love me? I asked.
Of course.
Then what about Lu Ruyi? Do you love her? He paused, unable to answer. Look, I smiled slightly, my tone indifferent. You cannot even answer that.
I can cast her aside.
And then what? I looked at him, cast her aside, marry me, and then feel indebted to her again in a few years, leaving me out in the cold once more. Xiao Jingyan, I am no longer the Shi Yunxi of the past, who revolved only around you.
Then what about Gu Yanzhou?
He suddenly raised his voice.
What can he give you? With his health?
He can give me a home. I interrupted him. My voice was calm but firm. A peaceful life is more important than anything. Only later. I want to live a good life with him. I also hope your highness will respect yourself, focus on state affairs, and not fail your status as the crown prince. Xiao Jingyan froze in place. I bypassed him and walked toward Gongquan Palace. After taking a few steps, I heard him whisper behind me.
AZ, I wronged you.
I did not look back.
He left.
Inside Gangquan Palace, Gu Yanzhou leaned against the couch, holding a copy of the Court Gazette in his hand. Although he had lived in seclusion all these years, he had never put down military books and political affairs. The virtuous reputation of the second prince, Xiao Jingyu, and the biased actions of the Eastern Palace had long been under his watch. There were also several stacks of old files by the desk, which were scattered evidence gathered in secret over the years, of the Eastern Palace faction framing loyal officials. I sat down. He said some words of regret. Gu Yanzhou's hand flipping the Court Gazette paused slightly.
Azai. The virtue of the heir to the throne concerns the stability of the state. It is for His Majesty and the civil and military officials to judge. As a subject, one should only report matters based on facts and not rashly criticize the foundation of the state.
He looked up at me, his gaze gentle yet firm.
But I can promise you, I will never let you suffer even half a grievance again. Only when the court is clean and the people are at peace can our small family be secure.
He spoke lightly, as if saying the weather today was very nice. But I knew he had already made a decision in his heart, not for personal grudges, but for the stability of the court and to keep me safe for the rest of my life. Gu Yanzhou stood up. It was the third day after our engagement. I went to Gongquan Palace to find him. From afar, I saw a figure standing beneath the parasol tree. He was tall and slender, dressed in a moon-white brocade robe. Hearing my footsteps, he slowly turned around.
Ah, see, you.
He stood there, like a green bamboo after the rain. You. My mouth hung open, unable to speak for a long moment. You can stand up. He smiled, his tone light and casual.
I met a skilled physician. After some time of careful treatment, I was able to stand.
He made it sound easy, but I caught the fleeting flash of endurance in the corner of his eyes and noticed the involuntary tremble of his fingertips beneath his sleeve. Only later did I learn that he had found that physician, who specialized in treating toxins, 6 months ago, and already knew the method to suppress his chronic illness. But back then, his heart was dead as ashes. He would rather have wasted the rest of his life in a wheelchair than use a method that so heavily drained his vitality. Until I knocked on the door of Gongquan Palace, grabbed his medicine bottle, and took hold of his will to live. Gu Yanzhou. I stepped forward and supported his arm. Are you hiding something from me?
No one.
He took my hand in return, his fingertips slightly cool.
Ah, see, look, your brother can stand up now. In the future, I can protect you.
He lowered his head, his forehead gently brushing against the crown of my head. At the time, I thought the coldness was just from recovering from a long illness. Only later did I learn that it was a side effect of the drug suppressing the poison. On the day of our wedding, the entire city of Jinling was adorned in red silk. In gratitude for the Gu family's loyalty and sacrifice, the emperor had previously bestowed upon Yanzhou the honorary title of vice minister of the court of imperial entertainments. Although he did not have to report for duty daily, he was still considered to hold an official court position. Gu Yanzhou rode on horseback to receive his bride. Dressed in a red robe, he looked exceptionally handsome. The commoners along the streets gasped in amazement.
Young Master Gu can stand? Who said he was a cripple?
Sitting inside the bridal sedan chair, I watched his back through the red veil. He sat upon the horse, his back perfectly straight, with a gentle smile on his lips. But I knew he was enduring great pain. The day the drug's side effects would backlash happened to fall precisely on our wedding day. The physician had advised him to choose another day, but he stubbornly refused, insisting on marrying me with the utmost grandeur, unwilling to let me suffer even a whisper of gossip or grievance. The bridal sedan arrived at the gates of the Shen Manor. This was his family's ancestral home. Though he had been raised in the Gu family since childhood, he still kept the Shen family's ancestral residence, which was also a way of honoring his ancestry. Gu Yanzhou dismounted from his horse and reached out to support me.
AC.
His voice was kept very low, so that only I could hear. I'm not tired. I squeezed his hand tightly. What about you? Are you in pain?
It is no matter.
He said with a smile, but his hand was trembling slightly. Once the wedding ceremony was completed, the guests dispersed. In the bridal chamber, the red candles burned brightly. Gu Yanzhou sat on the edge of the bed, and I sat right beside him.
AC. Am I dreaming?
I reached out and gently pinched his cheek. Does it hurt?
It hurts.
He smiled, yet his eyes welled with tears.
It is not a dream.
It is not a dream. I leaned against his shoulder. Gu Yanzhou, you are my husband now. He lowered his head and did not look up for a long time. I heard his muffled voice.
AC. Thank you for not giving up on me.
I held him tight. His body was very cold, but his heart was beating rapidly. No, I never will, I said. In this lifetime and the next, I never will. After the traditional 3-day post-wedding visit to my family, I found an excuse to visit the physician in the west of the city, who had been treating Yanzhou. The physician lived in an unassuming little courtyard in the west of the city.
You have come sooner than I expected, madam.
The physician sighed. What exactly is wrong with his body? I asked. Is it really just an old injury?
It is not entirely an old injury. It is a deep-seated chronic poison.
The physician poured me a cup of tea.
This poison was contracted during his military campaigns years ago, when he mistakenly entered the miasma-filled forests of the southern border. The damp toxins of the mountains and marshes settle deep into his meridians. The poison stagnates his qi and blood, leaving his legs and feet weak, and his body frail, remaining uncured for years.
My heart tightened. Is there a cure?
There is.
The physician nodded.
There are 2 solutions. First, long-term nourishment and care to prolong his life with the illness, but it will be difficult to ever cure it completely, and he will never be able to walk like a normal person. Second, we need dew grass from the deep mountains of Miaojiang as a medicinal guide, combined with golden needle acupuncture to expel the poison. This can completely purge the remaining poison from his body and cure him entirely.
Then why didn't he seek treatment before?
First, dewgrass grows deep within toxic miasmas, making its harvesting extremely dangerous. The slightest carelessness could lead to injury from the miasma. Second, during the period of taking the medicine and acupuncture, he needs someone close to him by his side to help regulate his breathing and assist the flow of the medicine's power. The person accompanying him will also suffer a significant toll on their own vital energy and spirit.
The physician looked at me.
Lord Gu asked about the method for a permanent cure long ago, but upon hearing that it required someone close to him to accompany him and deplete their vital energy, he never mentioned it again. In the past, he was disheartened and unwilling to let others take risks for him, so he simply gave up.
My hand holding the teacup tightened, so it wasn't that he couldn't be cured, but that he didn't want to burden anyone. Then how is he able to stand now?
He took a medicinal decoction that temporarily suppresses the poison. It ensures he can move normally for a few months, but once the medicine wears off, the rebound of the poison will take an even greater toll on his body.
The physician sighed. He said,
I must marry my lady with full honor and respect, and I cannot let her suffer even the slightest grievance.
I sat there, my tears falling one by one onto the back of my hand. Physician, I looked up, my tone firm. I want to treat him, no matter how difficult it is. I want him to fully recover.
Has Madam thought this through? During the process of accompanying him through the acupuncture, you will also have to endure discomfort.
I have thought it through, I said. He could disregard his own health for my sake, so what does it matter if I accompany him through this? The physician looked at me and sighed after a long silence.
There is just one more difficulty. The deep mountains of Miaojiang are under the jurisdiction of the great Yan vassals. No one may enter without official documents. The condensation grass is also a rare medicinal herb controlled locally. It requires an imperial decree to be obtained.
I understood. Guyanzhou paid close attention to court affairs and reported matters truthfully, not just for the stability of the court, but also to pave the way to petition for this decree. He did not want me to know about these dangers. He only wanted to pave the way himself, to protect my peace for a lifetime. But he did not know that I also wanted to stand by his side and cross this hurdle together. Regarding today's matter, I instructed the physician, do not tell him yet. I want to wait until everything is settled before speaking to him. Xiao Jingyan's recent behavior had become increasingly improper, becoming the talk of the town in Jinling. First, the crown prince requested an imperial decree to promote Liu Ruyi to side consort of the Eastern Palace and move her into the main seat of the side hall, which was rejected by the Empress Dowager. Then, he behaved improperly in court and was publicly reprimanded by the emperor. The most absurd thing was that he knelt outside the Palace of Benevolent Peace every day, begging the Empress Dowager to let him apologize to me in person. No one knew why. The emperor already suffered from a chronic cough, which had been fluctuating since spring. Court affairs were mostly delegated to the crown prince and the second prince, and he simply could not withstand such turmoil.
Your Highness, why put yourself through this?
The palace attendants advised him.
I must say sorry to Eisai in person.
His eyes were filled with loneliness.
I know she does not wish to see me, but in this matter, it was I who was in the wrong.
The Empress Dowager finally grew annoyed and sent someone to call him in. I was in the hall, keeping the Empress Dowager company and chatting with her.
Ah, see.
Address her as Madame Gu.
The Empress Dowager interrupted him in a cold voice. Xiao Jingyan froze, looking at me with pain in his eyes.
Madame Gu, I know you resent me, but you cannot refuse to hear even a single apology. I have wronged you in the past.
Your Highness speaks too gravely. I looked up at him. Matters of marriage are, after all, a mutual agreement. That I chose another suitable match was my own choice, and has nothing to do with Your Highness. Rather than lingering here and causing complications, Your Highness would do better to focus on state affairs and not fail your duties as the crown prince. I stood up, about to take my leave, but then paused in my steps. Turning back, I said, if Your Highness truly repents, you should restrain those around you, lest petty people use the name of the Eastern Palace to frame others. The grievances suffered by the former subordinates of the Gu family and the former generals of the Shi family, Your Highness should also investigate them. To restore justice to the loyal and righteous is what a crown prince ought to do. Xiao Jingyan opened his mouth, his face filled with astonishment. I turned and walked away. A hand lifted the curtain, and Guyanzhou walked in, dressed in his official robes. His features were gentle, yet he carried an undeniable aura of authority. He stood in front of me and looked at Xiao Jingyan.
Your Highness, my wife has already made herself very clear.
You.
Xiao Jingyan stared at him.
How dare you speak to us in such a manner?
This subject would not dare.
Guyanzhou nodded slightly, his tone calm.
This subject merely wishes to remind Your Highness that this realm belongs to His Majesty, and even more so, to the people of the realm. A ruler should prioritize the state and set aside personal desires. Your Highness's persistent entanglement with my wife, should word get out, would compromise the dignity of the crown prince and violate the rules of propriety.
Xiao Jingyan's pupils shrank, but in the end, he merely lowered his eyes.
It was we who lost our propriety.
Guyanzhou took my hand. He walked away without once looking back. A few days later, Liu Ruyi stopped me at the palace gates.
Shi Yunzi.
She had grown much thinner, her eyes sunken, yet her gaze remained sharp.
You won. Are you satisfied now?
She said.
It is not a matter of winning or losing.
I said. We are simply going our separate ways.
Separate ways?
Liu Ruyi sneered.
Do you think the crown prince is truly remorseful? He simply cannot let go of the Shi family's status. If you weren't the sole survivor of the Shi family,
none of that matters anymore. I looked at him. Liu Ruyi, I am already married. From now on, I have nothing to do with the Eastern Palace. You keep to your life, and I will live mine. It is best we do not interfere with each other.
Are you truly content to marry a sickly man?
He stares at me.
You could have been the crown princess, the future empress.
What I wanted has never been the position of empress. I spoke calmly, is to live a peaceful life and to be treated with sincerity. All of those things the Eastern Palace cannot give me, nor can the crown prince. Liu Ruyi's expression changed repeatedly. Finally, she gritted her teeth and said,
just you wait. At the palace banquet, I will find a way to break in and beg His Majesty and the Empress Dowager to grant me a title. When that time comes, it is not yet decided who will win or lose.
I did not look back. The day of the palace banquet was specially hosted by the emperor to celebrate our marriage. Before we set off, Guyanzhou pinned a phoenix hairpin into my hair.
Today will not be very peaceful,
he said in a low voice. I knew.
Are you afraid?
I took his hand. You are here. He smiled.
I am here.
The banquet at the Palace of Benevolent Longevity was extremely extravagant. The Emperor and the Empress Dowager sat at the head. Xiao Jingyan sat on the left, and Xiao Jingyu sat on the right. Guyanzhou and I sat below them. Glasses clinked, and the singing and dancing were in full swing. Xiao Jingyan's gaze would occasionally fall upon me, filled with regret and loneliness, but he didn't come forward to speak to me again. Guyanzhou blocked a glass of wine for me, and said with a smile,
Your Highness, my humble wife is not good at drinking. I shall I'll drink in her stead.
Xiao Jingyan's eyes dimmed for a moment, but in the end, he did not lose his temper. He let out a cold snort and drank his wine alone. After 3 rounds of drinks, Liu Ruyi had still not shown up. Xiao Jingyan kept looking outside the hall. His expression grew increasingly anxious. He had known all along that Liu Ruyi wanted to ask about the palace banquet and force him to grant her an official status. He had intended to dissuade her, but to his surprise, she was nowhere to be seen. Unable to sit still any longer, he rose to take his leave.
Your son begs to be excused for a moment,
he said before hurriedly leaving the banquet. Xiao Jingyu and Gu Yanzhou exchanged a look. As I murmured,
Lord Gu, for the crown prince to act in this manner is ultimately no blessing for the state.
Gu Yanzhou did not say much, but simply squeezed my hand tightly. Xiao Jingwen was discovered in the side hall. He had been away from the banquet for the time it takes to drink a cup of tea. Seeing that he had not returned for so long, the Empress Dowager grew uneasy and sent her headmaid to look for him.
Your Highness, please sober up.
The doors to the hall were pushed open. As soon as the headmaid stepped inside, she took 2 steps back in shock. She quickly lowered her head and cried out,
Your Highness has breached decorum.
As the news spread, the surroundings instantly fell into chaos.
AC, don't look.
Gu Yanzhou reached out and pressed my face into his chest, preventing me from seeing that embarrassing scene. But I heard Liu Ruyi's startled cry, and I heard the Emperor's furious scolding.
You rebellious child.
Immediately after came the loud crash of a shattering vase, followed by the sound of the Emperor collapsing to the ground. Your Majesty, Imperial Father. Everything erupted in an instant. Xiao Jingyu was the first to rush forward to support the Emperor. The Empress Dowager swayed and was quickly supported by her headmaid. I raised my head and saw Xiao Jingyan kneeling on the ground, his face deathly pale. Liu Ruyi cowered in a corner, a bright red handprint on her face, struck by the Emperor in his towering rage. It turned out that Liu Ruyi had insisted on forcing her way into the main banquet hall, and Xiao Jingyan had rushed to the side hall to stop her. As the two argued and pulled at each other, the alcohol rushed to their heads, and their behavior crossed the line. They happened to be caught red-handed by a searching nanny. That was the first time I had ever seen such a look on the Emperor's face. It was not rage, but bone-deep disappointment.
You,
The Emperor's voice was trembling.
as the crown prince of a nation, you actually lost your composure after drinking at a palace feast, arguing and pulling with the Eastern Palace concubine, Lady Liu, in the side hall, behaving with such impropriety, and committing such an act that disgraces the dignity of the crown prince.
Father, your son was framed.
Who framed you? The Emperor laughed in extreme anger. You drank too much yourself. You left the banquet yourself, and you kept her in the side hall yourself. This woman belongs to your Eastern Palace. You have doted on her all these years, and we turned a blind eye. But what about you? We arranged a marriage for you with the daughter of a loyal martyr, yet you neglected her. We paved the path of the crown prince for you, yet you ruined it with your own hands. Now, who else do you want to blame?
Father.
Shut up.
The Emperor closed his eyes and remained silent for a long time. Only Liu Ruyi's suppressed sobbing remained in the hall. The Emperor already suffered from a chronic coughing ailment. After this incident, his anger attacked his heart, and that very night he coughed up blood and became bedridden, falling bedridden from then on. After taking his pulse, the imperial physician said it was his old illness triggered by the shock, which damaged his core health. The Empress Dowager guarded by his bedside, never leaving his side. Xiao Jingyan knelt outside the hall for 3 days and 3 nights, but the Emperor refused to see him at all. The court was in a state of unease, and the Emperor knew the matter of the crown prince could no longer be delayed. On the night of the 4th day, he summoned the second prince, Xiao Jingyu, and the key ministers of the Grand Secretariat inside. They spoke in secret for 4 hours, setting the procedures for deposing and appointing the heir apparent, and establishing that, according to ancestral laws and court regulations, the matter would be submitted to the court ministers for collective deliberation. On the morning of the 5th day, the Empress Dowager sent someone to bring me into the palace, saying the Emperor wished to see me one last time. When I entered the hall, the Emperor's face was already ash-gray, and his breath was as weak as gossamer.
Asai,
He called to me. Her voice was very soft. Your Majesty.
we have failed your father, and we have failed you as well.
The Emperor looked at me, his eyes filled with deep guilt.
If we had only seen through Jingyan's character sooner, we would not have let you suffer such grievances.
Your Majesty speaks too gravely.
No,
The Emperor smiled bitterly.
it was our failure to judge his character clearly, which wronged the descendant of a loyal subject.
He paused, then asked again.
Asai, we wish to ask you, do you hate him?
He was referring to Xiao Jingyan. I thought about it and answered truthfully. I do not hate him. I simply do not wish to forgive him, nor do I wish to have any further association with him. Everyone makes their own choices, and he must bear the responsibility for his own actions. The Emperor fell silent for a moment, then suddenly smiled.
Fine.
He said,
"It is well not to forgive him. We do not forgive him either."
That night, the emperor passed away, leaving a decree passing the throne to the second prince, Xiao Jingyu. The decree also listed the various misdeeds of the former crown prince, Xiao Jingyan, stating that his final punishment was left to the court ministers to deliberate according to ancestral laws, with the new emperor supervising. Ultimately, the ministers deliberated and decided according to the law that Xiao Jingyan would be enfeoffed as the Prince of Qi, with Qizhou as his fief, and forbidden to return to the capital without imperial decree. All powers of the Eastern Palace were stripped away. There was no deliberate revenge, nor any fated judgment. This was the legal punishment he had to bear for his own mistakes. On the day Xiao Jingyan left the capital, a light rain was falling. He came outside the gates of the Shen residence, begging to see me one last time. Gu Yanzhou stood inside the gates, making no move to open them and welcome him. He only spoke across the gateway.
Your Highness, my wife does not wish to see you. If you have anything to say, please say it here.
Ah, see.
His voice drifted in through the curtain of rain.
I know you are inside. I only wanted to say that I was wrong. I was truly wrong. I should not have neglected you, nor should I have protected Lady Lu and broken your heart.
His voice choked with emotion.
I do not beg for your forgiveness. I only pray that you will live in peace and prosperity from now on.
I stood behind the gates and did not open them. Take care on your journey, Your Highness. I said, once you arrive in Qizhou, take care of yourself. Reflect deeply on your past mistakes and do not act willfully again. There was a long silence outside the gates. The rain pattered softly, and the sound of footsteps gradually drifted away, vanishing into the curtain of rain. Gu Yanzhou returned to the room and took my hand.
He is gone. Are you not going to see him off?
No. He lowered his head, gently rubbing his forehead against the crown of my head.
It is all in the past. From now on, there is only us.
The sound of rain outside the window gradually subsided. Leaning in his arms, my tears finally fell. Not out of sadness, but because I had finally let go of the regret kept deep in my heart for years. The new emperor ascended the throne, changing the era name to Yong'an. The very first thing Xiao Jingyu did after ascending the throne was to issue an imperial decree to purge the court and investigate those who had clung to the crown prince's faction over the years and framed the loyal old subordinates. Prior to this, Gu Yanzhou had already submitted the files of the old cases, which he had compiled for years to the imperial court. Every single case was backed by solid evidence, proving how they had used the crown prince's affairs back then to suppress dissidents and frame loyal and upright officials. This move was solely to clear the names of the wronged in the old cases and to purge the court without a shred of personal grudge. As a concubine of the Prince of Qi, Liu Ruyi was supposed to accompany Xiao Jingyan to Qizhou. Before their departure, Xiao Jingyu summoned her alone.
Lady Liu, do you plead guilty?
Liu Ruyi knelt on the ground, dressed in plain white clothes. This guilty concubine pleads guilty.
To what crime?
This guilty concubine at the palace banquet behaved inappropriately with His Highness, the Prince of Qi, after drinking.
That is not what we are asking.
Xiao Jingyu interrupted her.
We are asking about all these years, secretly framing General Xi's old subordinates, bribing officials, and plotting to drive a wedge between court officials. These matters, do you admit to them?
Liu Ruyi looked up abruptly, her face turning deathly pale.
What is your majesty saying?
The evidence is all in our hands.
Xiao Jingyu looked at her.
Every single case is backed by solid evidence, verified by the authorities. There is no need for you to quibble.
Liu Ruyi trembled all over, still wanting to argue.
Whether you admit it or not no longer matters.
Xiao Jingyu stood up.
Considering you have not taken any lives, by law, we shall spare you the death penalty. You will accompany the Prince of Qi to Qizhou and enter the prince's family temple to repent. You shall not leave the estate for the rest of your life. We hope you will repent with all your heart.
Your Majesty.
Take her away.
The second decree issued by the new emperor was to grant Gu Yanzhou a special official permit, allowing him to enter the deep mountains and medicine valleys of the Miao region with the imperial decree to seek the dew grass for his medicine. Firstly, it was to honor the generations of loyal and heroic service of the Gue family, as Gu Yanzhou had been wounded while serving the country. Secondly, it was to reward him for organizing the old cases and clearing the names of loyal officials. Gu Yanzhou knelt to express his gratitude for the imperial grace. When he walked out of the hall, I was standing outside waiting for him. Did His Majesty agree? I asked.
He agreed.
He held my hand, his eyes curving with a smile, just like the young man under the phoenix tree years ago.
Sai, I can be saved. Once I am fully recovered, I will fly kites with you every year. The journey to the Miao region is long and arduous.
He added.
Wait for me in the capital. I will be back very soon.
I want to go with you.
I
told you. You are not allowed to push me away again. I looked at him. You are going to seek medicine, so I will accompany you. For better or worse, we will be together. Gu Yanzhou looked at me for a long time. time, finally let out a sigh and nodded with a smile.
Fine, we will go together.
The journey to Miaojiang took 2 months. Guyanzhou's health had its ups and downs. When he was well, he would ride ahead of me, his back straight and upright. When he was unwell, he would lie inside the carriage, his forehead burning hot, coughing without end. The medicine suppressing the numbness and poison could gradually no longer hold back his deep-seated illness. The first rebound of the poison occurred halfway through our journey. He suddenly reined in his horse, his face turning pale, and after swaying slightly, he fell straight off the horse. Guyanzhou.
I'm fine.
He tried to push himself up from the ground, his voice weak and hollow.
Just a bit tired.
Before he could finish his sentence, he fainted. I quickly rushed forward to support him. His hands were ice cold, his lips pale, and his forehead covered in cold sweat. That time, he remained unconscious for 3 days and 3 nights. When he woke up, the green mountains of Miaojiang were already reflected in the carriage window.
We're here.
He asked hoarsely. We're here. I held his hand tightly. We have arrived. The physician in the capital had previously written a letter to his counterpart in Miaojiang, entrusting him to meet us at the foot of the mountain. The local physician was already waiting there.
Lord Gi, the dew, condensing herb grows in the Medicine Valley at the mountain peak. However, the path ahead is filled with toxic miasma, making it exceptionally perilous. With your current physical condition, I fear you cannot withstand the miasma invading your body.
I'll go.
AC.
Guyanzhou immediately frowned.
No, it is too dangerous.
You wait for me here. I looked at him, my tone firm. You have always been the one protecting me. This time, it is my turn. The physician will give me a heart-protecting pill, and someone will accompany me the entire way. Nothing will go wrong. If I go myself, I can also verify with my own eyes that the herb is correct. In the Medicine Valley of Miaojiang, the toxic miasma hung thick in the air. The physician led the way ahead, while I followed closely behind. The miasma made my throat tighten, and the moss underfoot was wet and slippery. Every single step was a struggle. After walking for an unknown amount of time, my legs began to feel weak, and my consciousness grew a bit hazy. Finally, I saw that massive ancient tree. Beneath the tree grew a cluster of emerald green grass, with morning dew clinging to its leaves. It was indeed the dew-condensing grass. That is the one, the physician said in a low voice.
Be careful, madam. The leaves are tainted with miasma. Touching them will cause a stinging numbness.
I stepped forward, swallowed the heart-protecting pill, and reached out to pluck the dew-condensing grass. The moment my fingertips brushed the leaves, a sharp, stinging pain flared up. Yet, my heart was filled with joy. Guyanzhou, you can be saved now. In our future, we still have a very, very long time together. By the time I made my way down from the Medicine Valley, night had already fallen. Guyanzhou, forcing his ailing body, was waiting at the foot of the mountain. Seeing me come down, hurried forward.
AC.
Before he could finish his sentence, he coughed, his face turning a few shades paler. It was a sign of the poison rebounding. Don't move. I supported him and showed him the dew-condensing herb. Look, I got it. Your poison can be cured now. Looking at my fingertips, which were red from being stung by the leaves, his eyes instantly welled with tears.
What a fool.
He said in a raspy voice.
Something so dangerous. How did you dare?
For you. There is nothing I wouldn't dare to do. I smiled. Let's quickly head back to the courier station and settle in, so the physician can prepare the medicine. Once we settled into the nearest provincial courier station, the physician set to work compounding the medicine and refining the elixir. Only then did I tell Guyanzhou that during the period of taking the dew-condensing herb and undergoing acupuncture, he needed someone close to stay by his side to help regulate his breathing and assist the medicine's power in circulating through his meridians. The process would consume a significant amount of vital energy and mental strength.
No.
He refused without a second thought.
I would rather go uncured than let you take such a risk.
What nonsense are you saying? I took his hand. The physician said, it will only cause some soreness and fatigue. It won't be life-threatening once you are fully recovered. We still have decades to spend together. This bit of hardship, what does it even matter? Guyanzhou, in the past you carried everything alone. For the road ahead, we will walk it together. All right? He looked at me. For a long time, he finally nodded, his eyes rimmed with red. The day the medicine was refined into a pill was a sunny one. The physician prepared the golden needles and had me sit by Guyanzhou's side.
Once the medicine's power disperses, in a moment, you must stay by his side, madam. Follow the method I told you to help him regulate his breath and energy. Coordinate with the needling to guide the medicine's power through his meridians. During this process, both of you will feel soreness and swelling in your meridians. Remember, it must not be interrupted. Otherwise, the medicine's power will disperse, and all previous efforts will be wasted.
Fine. Guyanzhou and I spoke in unison. As the pill entered his mouth, Guyanzhou closed his eyes. Soon, cold sweat broke out on his forehead, and his brow furrowed tightly. Sitting by his side, I helped him regulate his breath using the technique the physician had taught me. A sore, hot sensation spread up from my fingertips, like a warm current slowly flowing through my meridians. It was not easy, but seeing his profile as he endured in silence, I felt this bit of discomfort was nothing. I did not know how much time had passed, but the sore, swollen feeling gradually faded. Guyanzhou opened his eyes, and his very first words were,
Ah, see. Are you in pain?
I shook my head with a smile. I'm fine. What about you? How do you feel? He tried to circulate his energy, and joy appeared in his eyes.
The heavy sluggish feeling in my meridians is much lighter.
The physician stepped forward to feel his pulse, and after a moment, he let out a sigh of relief.
Very well. The remaining poison has begun to disperse. With another 3 to 5 years of recuperation, he will fully recover and be no different from an ordinary person.
The atmosphere in the room instantly lightened up. That night, we stayed at a courier station. Guyanjo sat on the edge of the bed, watching me drink my restorative medicine.
Is it bitter?
He asked. It is not bitter. I smiled. Compared to the medicine you used to drink, this is much sweeter. He didn't smile, but simply reached out and gently stroked my hair.
AC. For the rest of our days, let's live well together. You will accompany me to cure my illness, and I will accompany you to see the world.
Fine. I extended my pinky finger. Pinky swear. He was taken aback for a moment, then also extended his pinky finger, hooking it with mine.
Pinky swear.
Our two pinky fingers hooked tightly together, like our feelings that had wandered for many years, finally settling firmly into place. In the spring of the following year, news came from Qizhou. After Xiao Jingyan arrived in Qizhou, his past actions of indulging his subordinates and framing loyal officials were fully verified by the authorities according to the law. He was stripped of his military power in accordance with the law, and placed under house arrest in the Prince of Qi's manor, not allowed to leave without an imperial decree. Li Ruyi entered the manor's ancestral temple to pray to Buddha and repent her sins all day long, never to take a single step out of the manor gates for the rest of her life. Everyone has their own choices, and everyone has their own destiny. The law is clear and bright, and the punishment fits the crime. I asked Guyanjo, do you think it is a pity about Li Ruyi? Guyanjo thought for a moment.
It is a pity, but she is not innocent. She chose her own path, so she must bear the consequences herself.
Then what about me? I asked with a smile. Am I a pity?
You are not.
He squeezed my hand tightly, his eyes filled with a gentle smile.
You have me.
Guyanjo, you really have no shame. He laughed out loud.
When living with my own wife, why would I need shame?
In the third year of Yong'an, spring came exceptionally early. The parasol trees in the Shen estate blossomed. As the wind blew, the tiny light purple flowers rustled and fell. I sat under the tree, holding a newly made kite in my hand.
AC.
Someone called me from behind. I turned around. Guyanjo stood in the spring light, dressed in a green robe, his eyes full of smiles. He also held a kite in his hand, in the butterfly style I loved most in my youth.
Let's go fly the kite.
Fine. The wind in the imperial garden was as good as always. I held the spool, while Guyanjo stood beside me. The kite flew very, very high.
Do you still remember when we were young?
He asked. I remember. You lied to me, saying you didn't like flying kites, and only liked watching others fly them.
I didn't lie to you.
He said.
I truly liked watching someone fly kites.
Watching whom?
Watching you.
He lowered his head, his smiling eyes shimmering with light.
Only back then, I felt I wasn't worthy. Not worthy of flying kites. Not worthy of playing with you. Not worthy of loving you.
The wind suddenly picked up. The kite string pulled taut. And now? I looked up and asked him.
Now.
He reached out and covered my hand, holding the spool together with me.
Now I feel that, in all of heaven and earth, only I am worthy.
Guyanjo, you really have no shame. He smiled gently.
But you like it.
The kite flew very high. The string was very, very steady in our hands. I thought back to that spring many years ago. He sat in his wheelchair, pushing me to go fly the kite, saying, brother doesn't like flying them, and telling me, see, go play with Crown Prince brother. The wind was too strong back then, so I couldn't hear his suppressed coughing. The wind is still very strong now, but I can clearly hear his heartbeat. Right by my ear, steady and reassuring. Guyanjo. I suddenly called his name softly. His body paused slightly, and he looked down at me, the tenderness in his eyes overflowing. The days ahead are still very long. The days of recuperating might be a bit boring. But I leaned into his embrace, listening to his heartbeat. With you here, I'm not afraid of anything. He lowered his head and gently kissed the crown of my head.
I'm not afraid either.
The kite drifted in the spring breeze, the spool held in our hands, steady and secure. I am not considered clever, and I almost took the wrong path, but I finally did the one most important thing right, choosing you.